Hi everyone, welcome back. So we finished up parts 1, and now we're going to take a look at parts 2 and 3, which really relate to the hypotheses. As you look at the first one, part 2, we understand we're making a claim. It's very common for students to be a little bit confused about this and really understanding why we have different hypotheses. So just make sure that it's very clear that we are setting that null hypothesis as the statement that is assumed to be true, unless we get that convincing evidence to tell us otherwise. Now, the alternative is kind of what we're looking for. We're looking for evidence to kind of support that alternative hypothesis. It's also a good opportunity for you to remind students a similar connection between, say, being innocent and being not guilty, and the difference between those in, say, a court case. We assume that someone is innocent, but we look for evidence that they are guilty or not guilty. As you move down to the part 3 portion, this would be a good opportunity to kind of write down null and alternative hypotheses in words. We find it's really important to keep the word component as well as the symbols. The word component can allow students to interpret the ideas better, and it sometimes helps students understand better what they're looking for. We're looking for evidence that's going to allow us to either reject if it's unlikely to happen by chance, or we could fail to reject, which means it is actually likely that this type of sample occurred by chance. But this is an opportunity to take something else into the classroom. Oftentimes the null and alternative hypotheses are covered very quickly. We're looking for greater than 15 parts per billion. Why? Because that's what it said we're looking for. All right, but hold on to that for a moment. This is a great teaching moment. If we use the greater than version of the alternative hypothesis, what does it imply about our test? Okay, so we're setting that null hypothesis at the 15, and we're saying that we're out searching to find evidence that would back up the fact that actually we think it should be higher than that. In the case of Flint, Michigan, and in the case of testing water, this would mean that we are assuming that the water is safe and we're looking for evidence that it is unsafe. Now take a look at the other alternative hypothesis. If we used less than, now if you said, I'm going to go out and look for evidence that the lead level is actually less than 15 parts per billion, well, now you've changed everything. So now you're looking for evidence that the water is safe to drink. You're not looking, as we were before, for evidence of unsafe water. You're looking for safe water, kind of indicating I'm only going to drink it if you can prove to me it is safe. Whereas what was used in Flint, Michigan, the way they were using it is, we will drink it until you can show us that it's unsafe. And that's a very big distinction. So again, I would recommend not glazing over determining which is your alternative hypothesis and what does that represent. It's really important to ask the question, what are we looking for? And what happens when we find it? What does that mean? So keep that in mind as you go through parts 2 and 3. And that's it for now. Off you go.